Okay, this video is for people who want to raise their level of communication up, I'm going to say, one level. We don't want our communication to sound stoic or sterile or too academic, too pretentious, or too formal. We want it to be understandable, but we also want to be taken seriously in our communication, and we don't want to communicate on just a common everyday level. We want to take it a little bit higher than that. So most of the things I'm going to share with you, there's going to actually be 11. There's a bonus trick in here that in the book comes before the other 10, so you get the bonus first. But if you only learn these 11 tricks that I'm going to share with you from this book, The Well-Spoken Thesaurus by, I believe this is Thomas Healer. If you only learn these 11 tricks, you're going to be a better communicator. You can see the layout of his book here. Very, very easy to use. Don't say this, don't say that. Instead, say this, okay? So we're going to jump to page 6, and at page 6, we'll start with the bonus trick, and then we'll look at the other 10. Okay, what Thomas Healer does in this book, he looks at the writings of great poets like T.S. Eliot, Ernest Hemingway, and many other writers, how they said things, how they expressed things, and these are going to be small changes that you're going to make to how you also express things in order to take it up to a little bit higher level. Let's just follow along here. Most of us don't consider ourselves poetic, but we are. Filmmakers are keenly aware of our fascination with poetry. Why do you think so many leading men drive poetic cars like Carmen Gia's and live in poetic places like marinas or in converted abandoned warehouses? Poetry isn't just words on a page that rhyme. It's the feeling you get from words and the feeling you get from the actual things those words represent. Poetry is the smell of a freshly pressed white cotton shirt. Poetry is the color of lightning. Certain everyday words are poetic too. See if you can spot one here in this line from T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. While Michelangelo is poetic, it's hardly an everyday word. Of is the poetic word here. Talking about Michelangelo just doesn't do it for me. Talking of him does. Try replacing your abouts with ofs, as in this example. Before, we would say, there is talk about a takeover, but the would-be CEO knows nothing about the publishing business. After, there is talk of a takeover, but the would-be CEO knows nothing of the publishing business. Again, this is something that takes it up a level, but it doesn't sound pretentious. It doesn't sound too sterile or too academic or too formal. Okay? This is actually the bonus trick right here. So we do it a little bit differently because he does it differently in the book. We give you the bonus trick first. Okay? So you see, even a no-nonsense business memo can be improved upon with a bit of poetry. Here are 10 other poetic replacements and omissions. Trick number 1, drop of. She thinks of herself as an expert. She thinks herself an expert. Okay? Now, would you use this if you are a project manager or a superintendent on a construction site, building a building? Would you use this with your workers? Probably not. Okay? But it would be used in the corporate boardroom. If the contractor has a meeting in a conference room of some type, they may want to incorporate this into their speaking communication. Nonetheless, it would be very effective in written communication. Okay. If you're in a high-tech company with a lot of people that are highly educated, then this would work even better. She thinks herself an expert. Okay. Second trick, drop is. Do you think it is impertinent? Do you think it impertinent? So what he's saying is, instead of saying it is impertinent, do you think it impertinent? Again, it takes it up a little bit to a slightly higher level of articulation and communication. Number 3, drop the second is. Every look is a cordial smile, every gesture a familiar caress, by T.B. Macaulay and Machiavelli. Okay, so instead of saying every look is a cordial smile, and every gesture is a familiar caress, you leave out the word is here. Every look is a cordial smile, every gesture a familiar caress. Number 4, replace very with est of. It is a very rare event. It is the rarest of events. Again, you're taking it up to a slightly higher, you're taking your communication up to a slightly higher level. Number 5, replace are with a comma. Those are the men who stood their ground. These, the men who stood their ground. Now, this has a very dramatic feel to it, a very emotional feel to it here. And so, you might want to use this more in your writing, but it does. These are the men who stood their ground. These, comma, pause, the men who stood their ground. Okay? A more dramatic feel and more emotional feel to it. Number 6, replace a bull with a matter of fact. It's disputable. It's a matter of dispute. Okay? A little bit higher level without sounding too pretentious or academic or formal. Okay? Number 7, trick number 7, drop that are. I have a taste for all things that are classical. Instead, say it this way. I have a taste for all things classical. Okay? Slightly higher expression. Number 8, replace that he was with him. I thought he was wise. I thought him wise. Okay? A little bit higher level, a little bit more poetic. Number 9, replace full with a source of. Her continued absence is regretful for us all. Her continued absence is a source of regret for us all. Okay? A little bit higher level, replacing full, regretful, with a source of regret. And the last trick, replace with of. They were sitting in the blind that wanderable hunters had built with twigs and branches. They were sitting in the blind that wanderable hunters had built of twigs and branches. From Ernest Hemingway. All right? So instead of saying with twigs and branches, you're saying of twigs and branches. Learn these 10 tricks and you will be a better communicator. Like I said, not all of them are going to be useful for you in speaking, depending upon your audience that you're speaking to. But I would dare say that all of these will be valuable for writers, speakers, managers, CEOs, bosses of any kind, lawyers, teachers, anyone who wants to express themselves at a little bit higher level. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.